Hey, we want to welcome you back to the Triple Thread podcast. And I'm Lamar.
I'm Joey.
And we're excited today to introduce our VIP, our very important podcaster.
Absolutely. Jennifer Atkinson.
Yeah, Jennifer, welcome to the show today.
Thank you.
It's good to
Thank
have
you very much.
We're so grateful you're here.
Yes, we are.
Jennifer's been a part of our family, and we'll get into that. But Jennifer is a nurse practitioner. See, I practiced that before. She is a nurse practitioner at Middletown Cardiology.
Yep.
And so she'll talk a little bit about that. And so why don't we start there, Jen? Tell us what's going on. What do you do as a nurse practitioner?
Oh, in the office, I've been a nurse practitioner for going on 30 years. I was really the first in Middletown.
Wow.
Yeah.
Like the pioneer.
Yeah. I actually helped Middletown Regional Hospital develop the standards and the policies for the nurse practitioners coming in and working in the hospital, because there weren't those protocols in place when I became a nurse practitioner.
So when you're saying first, male, female, the first in the city of Middletown. So we have got
as far as I know.
Wow, so we got a real VIP here, right?
Yeah.
We do.
The old Middletown Hospital.
Yeah.
So
That
you're
was 1998.
1998. So that goes back a little bit. And so you're working with doctors like Dr. Gupta?
Yes, Dr. Gupta, Dr. Brown. There are 9 of them. 9.
Wow.
Yeah, but I focus now on patients with defibrillators, pacemakers, the EP side, the electrical physiology side of cardiology.
Wow.
A lot of atrial fibrillation and.
Okay, so that's
I see all of them.
and you're seeing that a lot more. I don't know if it's just me and I'm getting older, but I'm hearing a lot about AFib, and so I would just ask you to tell our audience, how important are those doc checks? Because I think we as men sometimes are like, well, we're okay. So how important are those checks?
No, it is important. I mean, I think sometimes people feel palpitations or their heart racing and they think, oh, it'll come, it'll go, and they don't realize that maybe their heart's out of rhythm, which that puts you at a higher risk for stroke.
Yeah.
So we've actually had patients with the smart watches, and it's actually identified it. And the cardiomobiles that people are getting that you see advertised on TV, actually they're pretty good at screening, and patients have come to us and we've been able to identify the issue. But it is important not to ignore it and have that checked.
I was just told by my doctor probably a year ago, I could opt to have a check on my heart. You'll know the language for it. It basically looks at the heart and it looks at the calcium.
Cardiac CT.
It's a cardiac CT.
So
you probably tell us
for
about
$99
for you. That's it.
Yes.
It's not like Earl Scheib. Do you remember?
I remember 99-cent paint job.
$99 paint job,
Yeah,
not 99-cent Earl Scheib.
$1, okay, yeah.
Back in the day, but so tell us about that, because it's like, okay, $99, but I mean, I'm 58. Joe, you're
56.
56. So I mean, what is that?
It helps risk stratify you.
Okay.
It gives you some of the calcium scores in the arteries, and if
I have had that done.
yeah, so it allows you to know whether you really need to follow up with your primary care and cardiology.
Yeah.
Do you need to look at your cholesterol levels better? Do you need your stress tests?
Okay. So these are important things.
Yeah.
Because I can tell you this, and part of what I am vulnerable about now is just in my life, health-wise, and maybe it's a man deal. I don't know. Talk to us. We're going to come back to that. But as a man, I was like, when I went through my bladder cancer and all that, pre-diagnoses, I was, there were signs. I should have been going to the doctor.
For sure.
But I was like, I feel okay. And truly, we're looking at a lot of people who man, they have widowmaker possibilities. There's so many things when it comes to the heart.
And that's where these screenings play a part.
You would say it is very, very important for us to listen to our doctors and to make sure that our bodies are okay.
Yeah, and listen to your symptoms. Like if you know something's changed, like, I'm getting short of breath walking this distance that I used to be able to walk.
Okay.
Or I'm starting to get chest heaviness, chest tightness, and it might not be typical. It might not, then you should follow up.
Would you say not so much age related, but when you're getting those symptoms, to be very careful? It could be 30, it could be 40, it could be my age or our age, right? Okay.
Do you have any idea? I mean, is it just more prolific, or why am I hearing, or why are we hearing a lot about what we call AFib, and people are having to go in and they're doing different procedures like ablations and stuff? Is this something new that we're seeing?
It's not new. I think the awareness it's out there more.
Yeah.
I think your treatment options, people are living longer. It's familial, so you see it in families, but I think people are living longer, but some of your risk factors, besides being age, your weight is a risk factor. Sleep apnea is a risk factor, especially if it's not treated.
Right.
So all of these, alcohol can be a risk factor.
Well,
All of these risk factors just kind of play a part, and we're just seeing a bigger number of identified atrial fibrillation.
is there, I mean, there's always these days, but isn't there like a heart awareness month? Isn't there like a month? February.
No, we just missed it.
We just missed it, but there are heart walks. There's all kinds of different things, raising awareness and raising money for this community. You only have one heart, right? And Scripture says this. I think it's interesting. So I would be curious to hear, as an NP, your thoughts on this. The Bible says, as a person thinks in their heart, so they are. And so the heart was spoken about, obviously, in the Old Testament and the New Testament. And, the leb in the Hebrew, the leb, and then in the Greek, it's cardia. We get cardiac from it. But, there's something I've seen in people, seemingly, that once they go through a heart procedure, there's like something that's tender. There's something that maybe emotionally is being exercised. Am I seeing something that's not really there, or?
No, it's pretty common.
Really? Mm-hmm. And is there kind of a?
I think it's just, it brings that awareness. I think it's that awareness, and then just that's your one heart, and you really need to tap into it, and you really need to. And I think it brings about the awareness of like relationship, all of the relationships and their family and.
The heart is an amazing, amazing creation of God. Joe, I'm not gonna test you on the four chambers of the heart.
Please don't.
I'm not gonna test you on other language that you may not be aware of, like injection fractures and all these things, but which you know quite well, right?
Injection fraction.
See, I didn't even say it right. So she got me. I was testing her, right? I was seeing if she was.
I knew you were. I knew you were.
I didn't know you were wrong.
It was okay.
Just so you know.
It's okay.
So let's talk about this, because obviously we could talk a lot about heart, but why are we sitting here, and how did we come together for community, and why are you a very important podcaster today? And maybe you're like, well, I don't know, but why do you think that we're together today?
Well, I know the podcast is about community.
Yeah.
And when I was asked to be a part of this podcast, I knew immediately that probably it was my relation to the community for special needs through our son.
Yeah.
And through our son Luke and the community for special needs, that is what brought us to Baraka Church. And so I think that's why I'm here.
I think that's.
Can you elaborate on that?
Yeah,
What was about
yeah,
Baraka
yeah.
that made you come here?
I think it's a fair question.
Yeah, no. So Luke, my son Luke was involved with Young Life Capernaum in Middletown, and Ellie Farrell, Lamar's daughter, was a part of that.
Okay.
And she would invite Luke often to come to their SNAP program
Love it.
on Sundays. Special Needs Achieving Purpose.
Yes, SNAP.
And-
Shout out, SNAP.
There you
Yeah,
go.
shout out
Yeah.
to SNAP.
Yeah.
So Luke, for a while, Luke would say no thanks.
Yeah.
And then he came to my husband and I one day and said a friend was being baptized.
Okay.
And could he come to the baptism?
Wow.
And we said, absolutely, but we will come too. We'll take you, but we'll stay with you.
Okay.
So we stayed that first Sunday with Luke. He went to the SNAP program and we met him for service. But
Okay.
he sat with his SNAP friends.
Okay.
But he loved it. He loved the SNAP program. He loved seeing some of the friends that overlapped through Young Life Capernaum.
Yeah.
And Mark and I loved the service and the sermon. And as we left, Mark said, I loved it. And I said, I did too. So that was 3 years ago.
Wow.
So we're usually, unless I'm working, we're here on Sunday mornings, and Luke attends the SNAP program.
Were you church member somewhere else before, or were you attending?
I grew up Catholic,
Okay.
and I actually still attend on Saturdays. I usually meet my parents
Okay.
for Mass.
It's awesome.
And,
Yeah, it is.
But Mark wasn't.
Right.
And so it's been amazing for our family, like the conversations. And then Mark wanted to go through Rooted, so I did it with him.
Yeah.
So now we're part of a B group, and sometimes we host it. It's like,
That's so
it's great.
cool.
And then Mark's parents, who did not attend church,
Yeah.
they were watching us come, and then now Myra and Rick come.
They got baptized to
Yeah.
Mark and his dad.
Yeah.
So that was there.
So let's look at that. That's incredible, just in all that you've unpacked in just about 60 seconds. So your son Luke is being invited to come and see SNAP, but ultimately he's like, yeah, but when someone was going to be baptized, then he was like, hey, Mom and Dad, I want to go. And because of Luke's special needs, and we're going to really dive into, Luke is a celebrity. You don't know this. He's not just Middletown celebrity.
Oh.
He's nationally known. Nationally known. We're going to get
More
into
than
that.
that.
Yeah.
Okay,
But so through his special needs, and I don't know if you even said yet, we're going to dive into this. Did you tell us what his special need is?
Oh, no. I'm sorry. Luke has Down syndrome.
So Down syndrome, which we're going to get into, and we want to hear the story about, because I'm always interested as a parent with a child with special needs. Sure. I want to hear from other parents about how they found out, all of that. So your son who has special needs, Down syndrome, and it's not Down's syndrome, it's Down syndrome.
I was unaware, actually.
And it's
So-
a capital D and a small S.
I did not know that.
Capital D, small s. Why? Do we know why it's capital D, small s?
Well, the D was a Dr. Down who first identified the traits of Down syndrome.
Interesting. So Luke, who
No idea.
obviously, and will remind me, Jennifer, to tell the audience who his agent is.
Okay.
So Luke is like, hey, I want to go to Baraka. I want to go to church. He watches that. Then for the first time, this is community.
Yeah.
For the first time, a lady who has church experience every week and her husband who doesn't come in, not probably even expecting maybe to enjoy the service, just to kind of be there as bystanders.
Yeah, truly, just to be here as bystanders. But so that we could explain, like, I didn't know what the service would be like. I didn't know what he would hear.
Right.
And I wanted to be able to explain that to him.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So then you get caught up and wrapped up in like, man, we really enjoyed this.
Right. We got in the car and Mark said, I'm pretty sure he was speaking to me. And I said, no, I think he was speaking to me. And I'm like, and that's good, right? Like,
yeah.
That's good.
So God was working.
Yeah.
I love to ask people this question when they come into a community like Baraka. Yeah. What are some of the things that you remember walking in? Because that's kind of like, that's big. It's heavy. It's awkward sometimes. What do you remember walking in, like feeling, seeing? Were you greeted? Was it just kind of like
people? Yeah, we were greeted. We were greeted, I think, outside, and then as we came in through the doors.
Right.
And everyone was very friendly, but there also was no sense of pressure. Like I don't know how to describe it, but I've been to other places and other churches where I felt like a little bit intimidated or pressured, and but this was just, everyone was just so friendly and welcoming, and
wow. Yeah. And so
we had no hesitation about like coming back the next week.
Wow.
Like there was no hesitation.
So let me ask you, going into that Sunday, was there any thought like before that we're going to come back next week?
No.
Not at all.
Not at all.
Okay. All right. So then you sat there, you heard, you saw, you witnessed all that. You do you remember anything about specifically like the sermon or the message?
I really don't.
Okay. But
not
you
on
knew.
the spot. I don't.
That's fine.
If I
That's
talk
fine.
to Mark,
That's
we might,
fine.
but
That's
I
fine.
don't.
Okay. And for the record, Mark is also in the medical field as well. Oh. And so shout out Mark. Jennifer, share with us what Mark does.
He's a nurse educator in the operating room at Cincinnati Children's Hospital.
Yeah, so
wow.
Let's just say that Ellie has been the benefactor of
coming now.
Mr. Mark being able to kind of say, hey, she's going to be there. And so, yeah, they're great. We would say this, and I would take just an opportunity to say how blessed, we write about it in Dirty Big Secret, how blessed we are to be in this area for hospitals like Cincinnati Children's Hospital. We can go to University of Cincinnati, Miami Valley, the Atrium, the Premier, the Ketterings, all of these, but we're blessed to be here. And so he's at Cincinnati Children's Hospital, and he serves well. So, okay, so you come in, you like it, you're like, we're going to come back next week. And then before you know it, you're like, rooted.
Yeah.
Rooted. So from your perspective, I always love asking people, from your perspective, and I say it's a journey. So how would you describe rooted to someone who's literally just walked out of the jungle and looking at you and you're like, hey, let me tell you about rooted? How would you explain that to them?
It's a series of class discussion and reading that kind of takes you from the very beginning of like the experience of learning to read the Bible and pray and just move forward in your journey.
Yeah.
And for Mark and I, it was a way to like open up discussions.
Yeah, I like that.
That we had never had.
So it got you out of that kind of silo, and it puts you in a place where you now are asking each other questions and having dialogue.
Right.
And as a practicing Catholic, and you have been since the beginning of time, I mean, right, your life, you have been very active in the church.
Yes.
But as a practicing Catholic, how were things maybe brought to light or encouraged even in your faith?
Right. So as I would come and hear the sermons and see the scripture and then the explanation of some of the scriptures, then when I would go to Mass and hear the readings and the Gospels, some of it would start to make more sense. Like it's just that repetition and hearing it, and even just hearing it in a different voice, and it all just would fit together perfectly.
Yeah.
And I actually feel like I started to get more out of Mass because I was looking for those things. Where before I think I wasn't looking.
Right.
The Catholic Mass is so like ritualistic and the prayers are so, you repeat them, and I actually started listening to the words again.
Yeah.
That's incredible.
It was pretty good.
So would you say to a person would you recommend something like Rooted, which really is, it's about community. It's about being together and taking that opportunity. Did you see it as important enough that you would say to somebody else, hey, this...
I would encourage anyone.
Yeah. And you would encourage them to do it just because of fill in the blank.
The growth that you will have.
Yeah.
The growth that you will have. And then hopefully it opens doors and makes these relationships with people here at the church that they're irreplaceable.
Yeah.
But I will also say, and you don't know this.
Here we go.
So in our B group,
yes,
we've talked about Lent. Sometimes they'll ask me questions from the Catholic perspective.
It's good.
So last year I remember talking about Lent, and Mark and I had said we had gone to Stations of the Cross on a Friday night.
Right.
And explained what that was and the prayers we would say. And so several people said, I think I'd really like to just hear that and see that.
Yes.
So last Friday, 5 of the others from our B group met Mark and I at Holy Trinity for Stations of the Cross.
It's fantastic. Wow. How was that for them?
They all told me and texted me the next day that they really loved it and enjoyed it. They said, wow, like it was just, they thought it was beautiful.
Yeah. So again, having that community and having that time and encouraging each other and being exposed to things that, you may have never been exposed to. We're going to talk more about your journey, Mark's journey with Luke. We're going to get into that. But before we do, we're going to take a very important break. But when we come back, you don't want to miss it. Joey, take us to break.
Can't wait to dive deeper. This has been fantastic. And it's 22 minutes in. But quick message from Lamar coming up, and we'll be right back, folks.
Yeah. Thanks for tuning in to the Triple Thread podcast. We are so grateful that you have spent the time to share this time with us. From Joe and I and our producer, Zach, and all that make this happen, we can't thank you enough. Also, shout out to Sandy Snowden. Wow, my assistant who keeps my life running well. Thank you so much, Sandy. Listen, if you want to learn more about community, all you have to do is type in realcommunityforyou.com. It's realcommunity, the number 4, the letter U.com. And you'll be shown some opportunities for you to be a part of community on our website, not only the Triple Thread podcast, but a way that you can, if you feel that you'd like to be a part of this, a way that you can financially help us and support this. We would so greatly appreciate it. Another thing is, too, the Dirty Big Secret, a book that was written and published last year, is an opportunity for you to pick up my memoir. I believe it will encourage you, and it will take you to a place where you realize that community is such a part and a need for our life. So Dirty Big Secret is available. You can click that link to go to Orange Fraser Press, my publisher, and purchase that. It'll be mailed to you, or you can pick it up at a Baraka location near you. Thanks again for tuning in, listening, wherever you listen, Spotify, Apple, wherever you're listening. Thank you so much. Let's get back to our podcast. Hey, Joey, we are back with Jennifer. Excited to talk to her about the power of community and just journey of life. We were talking before we went to break about Rooted and how that opened up opportunities and continuing to open up that B group life, which we call B group life, another opportunity to be engaged in community. Joe, you know B Life very well.
I know B Life very well. We have built a group of 20.
Wow.
In our B group, we had 11 in our Rooted.
Right.
And we've just people have latched on, and it's been life-changing for me.
Yeah.
It really has. What you described, and we're about the same time when I started Baraka. It's been life-changing.
Yeah.
My walk with Christ, thanks to many relationships that I've developed. That's my family now.
Yeah, it is family, and I think we're going to continue to say this unashamedly. Yeah. We're not meant to live in silos. We are meant to be in community. And from the beginning of Luke being invited into community, and one of the things that we know as parents with special needs young people, there's a threshold, and it comes to an age where there's nothing really offered. Young Life does an incredible job with Capernaum, but by 22, Jennifer,
You age out.
you age out. You age out. So Baraka has really been that champion of saying, okay, what can we do to really invest in? And Snap is one of those outlets. Wow, Wonderworks on Wheels is one of those outlets. The Dream League, which we want to save time to talk about that. The Dream League, incredible. But Jennifer, before we get into what it means to raise a son with Down syndrome, I would just love for our listeners to hear the day in your life where you were here, you were listening, you were in Rooted, you come to a Sunday service, and things are like, wow. Do you remember that Sunday that I'm talking about in your life?
Yeah, it was last year, Palm Sunday.
Wow.
For me.
Okay, all right. Can you kind of walk us, and I know it's emotional, but can you kind of just walk us through what that day was like? Just maybe a few things that just flood your heart and mind on that day of days.
So the sermon was about when Jesus died on the cross and that curtain was torn. And Pastor Lamar was up preaching, and I've heard the story of Jesus dying on the cross, and it, got black and earth shook, and I've heard that. And I've heard that the veil, the curtain tore from top to bottom. I've heard, but hearing him say that, it was like I could see it. Right above, like to the left and above him, that I could see this curtain and veil tear, and I thought, that's all I needed, was him dying on that cross, the veil's been torn, and Jesus, that's my way to God.
Did you say that became real for you?
And at that moment, that was the moment then I knew, I'm like, now I finally get it. When I take my last breath, I will be with him in heaven, like instantaneously. But it was like that, it just hit me like all at once. Like,
that's amazing.
But when I walked in to church that Sunday, I never I think it had been working on my heart, but I felt very content.
Sure.
But when I walked in, and it was like life-changing for me.
Would you say you walked out a different person?
Yeah.
That's incredible.
I remember that day because I remember hearing from her, and this, and I was like, something's happened, and I remember as I heard, and Marianne and I responded to her, and we called, and I was asking her some questions. I was reminded that for all of us, I think we can be in places that we're supposed to be. We can go to church. We can do all these things. It doesn't matter the name over the door of the church, but I think we can be in those places, be doing even righteous things, and not know, and like the aha, I know Jesus is all I need. And I think for her, and I just said this to her, I remember asking her, you may not remember, I said, so Jennifer, what you're telling me, do you think today was your conversion day? Do you remember me asking you that? Oh, wow. And what did you say?
Yes.
Yeah, and so we rejoiced, and then God would take you as a Catholic practicing lady who was baptized as an infant, right? And you walk through that because now you know, okay, I know, but you even walk through that and kind of, okay, what do I do now, right? Which I think is important to really wrestle with. But as you wrestled with that, you had to come to a decision where, for you, what did that mean to you in baptism?
Well, after my discussion with Pastor Lamar, then I knew my next step was baptism, full immersion baptism. but first I wanted to talk to my mom about it and just let her know.
It's so
And-
honoring.
Yeah, absolutely.
And then I was baptized in
Yeah.
June.
Yeah. So from
June
Palm
8th, I
from Palm Sunday to June 8th, number of new beginnings. It's just been remarkable to watch what God is doing in their lives. And really, let's go back to this. God gave you a special gift.
Yeah.
And that special gift is a special young man named Luke. And I'm pretty in love with that name. We named, of course, our son Luke. So
Yeah.
I love Luke, and Luke means the bringer of light. And so take us back to when you, as carrying Luke, I don't know, did you know what was going on?
We didn't know.
You had no idea. Okay, so take us to
I think
that.
there's blood work at some point offered.
Right.
We didn't have that blood work done. But, you know, we had all the typical ultrasounds, but nothing showed.
Mm-hmm.
And so I had Jake, our older son, was 3. We had actually gone through infertility for Jake. And then when we got pregnant, we were ecstatic. We hoped to get pregnant again, but so I got pregnant again, had a great pregnancy, felt good. 7 months pregnant, took Jake to Florida. 8 months pregnant, I was a bridesmaid in my brother's wedding. And so actually people say, oh, I would want to know the diagnosis ahead. And I actually have talked to so many people. I think when people find out during their pregnancy, that's how they would have wanted to find they would want to know that again, because they feel like it helped them prepare.
Correct.
In my case, I did not know. I feel like I had this great pregnancy. We have great memories.
Yeah.
I could enjoy all of those things
Yeah.
and didn't have that concern or worry over me. And so Luke was born, and they placed him on my belly, and I thought, well, he's like the cutest thing I've ever seen. He's so cute. And then about 10 minutes later, the doctor came to me and said, we suspect the baby has Down syndrome. We're not 100%. Luke does not have a simian crease, which is a crease exactly straight across your palm.
Okay.
And no one does, but if you do, it's one of the signs of Down syndrome. But all people with Down syndrome don't have a simian crease, and Luke did not. So they couldn't open his palm and look, but his ears were lower set, and the bridge of his nose was wider. So they suspected, but we had to do blood work to confirm that. And that took about 10 days to come back. And after that, when you really looked at him, we could start to see it in his eyes. And I mean, at that point, I think I just said, well, he's mine.
He's my
I'm
baby.
going to take care of him.
Yes.
And probably the hardest phone call I've ever had to make, he was 2 weeks old when I called the Down Syndrome Association of Cincinnati and had to say the words, my baby has Down syndrome.
Wow.
Because I knew I needed help.
Sure.
I knew he's 2 weeks old. I needed,
Good for you.
I knew I couldn't do it by myself.
Yeah.
And of course, we have great family. I have a brother and sister-in-law and my sister and my parents at the time. And Mark's parents, we have great family support. Mm-hmm. But I knew we needed help, learning about Down syndrome and how to take care of a baby with Down syndrome. Yeah. And of course, that was before you could just pick your phone up and Google it.
Wow.
So they said, we will overnight you a box. It will be there tomorrow with videos and books and pamphlets and resources. And it was on our porch.
Wow. So you said two things that were powerful. The hardest phone call that you had to make. Hard because you had to speak and you heard yourself saying what you may not have wanted to say.
Yeah, I didn't want to.
Which is, our baby has Down syndrome. But you did an incredible thing by not staying in a silo. And what did you say? You needed help?
Yeah.
You needed help. Yeah. And so you reached out to the Down Syndrome Association, right?
We did.
Incredible. And here's what I love, Joey. Think of what she just said. The next morning, what was on the porch?
The package.
The package, the box, the response, the we're here for you. We're not going to walk away from you. We're going to walk with you. And I think that truly is, I remember for us with spina bifida, from the beginning, we knew about the spina bifida clinic and all that. So we knew about Ellie when she was in utero. You guys didn't know until after post birth. And so when you're given this daunting news, but looking back, let me ask you, Jennifer, when they said we suspect, 10 days in, you knew. How many days roughly did you kind of think, okay?
A couple. It only took a few, and you could start to see it.
Okay.
More in his eyes, and he had a lower muscle tone, and he needed some chin support for feeding and things like that. I mean, it all kind of was falling into place.
Okay. How did people, I'd be interested to say, how did people respond from your family, from outside the family, when they started to hear the trickle of this news? How was the response, would you say, from people?
I think family and friends were all in supportive, but sensitive to our feelings.
Sure.
But at the time, John Ryan was the physician we used, a family physician in town, and he gave me the best advice. He sat down and he said, look, this is not what you thought. Right. You did not expect that you were going to have a baby with a disability with Down syndrome. He said, now. He said, you want for him to be happy, you want him to thrive. He said, so you know what? Now from the get-go, he's going to have some extra help.
Yeah.
He said, but you know what? You expect him to follow the rules. And all along, he was like, he goes, he's going to have chores like Jake. And he said, you think for Jake how his life course is going to be, but he said, you don't.
Right.
Things happen.
Right.
And he said, right now, from the get-go with Luke, you're going to have more doctor's appointments. He's going to have therapy. He said, but you can handle that. Just know that. And so the best advice was, don't cut him any slack. Make him follow the rules.
It's good. It's good. And we've watched Luke and I've watched others with Down syndrome. I from my perspective, just looking in, there's something beautiful, there's something sweet, there's something just mysterious and wonderful and kind and all these things that go with that. But I would say, Jennifer, I would say as a parent with a child with special needs, if we could go back and make a change, Marianne and us, there's no way we wouldn't, because our Ellie and your Luke, is exactly how God would design. And we truly wouldn't be in places today. We wouldn't be sitting here having this conversation today. Luke has opened up door after door after door of celebrity. And so take us down that road of where and what he has accomplished in just short order.
Yeah, no, I mean, Mark and I feel blessed to be his parents. We only wish we knew when we felt that gut punch that he has Down syndrome. Like Mark's like, if I'd only known. He said, I feel like I spent those first couple weeks looking things up, and he was like, I should have just enjoyed him. But he's loved basketball his whole life. He played through elementary school, and then once he got to high school, he decided he wanted to help the basketball team. And Middletown High School, I reached out to the coaching staff, and everyone was always welcoming, and absolutely he can be part of the team. And actually the soccer coach heard that Luke liked sports, and so he reached out and said, would Luke be even a manager for the soccer team? I know it's not basketball, but he knew that it was going to open up relationships with those boys too. Yeah. So Luke participated, and then but his senior night in basketball was his most special night, and they let him know the night before they were going to let him wear a jersey and he would start the game.
Yeah.
So he got to make the first basket of that game.
Yeah. Yeah.
And it was pretty special.
It was a shot heard around the world, literally.
It was crazy. I mean, I was on my way home. Mark called me. It was a Tuesday night game. Yeah. And Mark called, and the game starts at 7, so I'm like, well, I mean, we'll be there by 5:30. We're good. And Mark calls me at like 4, and he said, Jennifer, the school's calling, wanting to know when we're coming up because there are 4 news channels here already. Yeah. And that's I incredible. Said, what? Yeah. We couldn't believe it. And so then, a week, I think it was a week later, it all aired. It was great. And one of the best pictures we have, the Middletown Journal took of Mark. It was when they introduced Luke for senior night, and he's walking out looking straight ahead with a smile. And Jake walked out, his older brother, and he's looking at Luke with a big smile. Yeah. And Mark and I are on the other side of Luke because I've got my arm on Luke, but Mark and I are looking at each other. Yeah. And we didn't say a word, but we both knew, wow, from that moment in the delivery room when we thought, what will happen? Yeah. How do we move forward? Yeah. What is going to be the next step to, can you believe this? There's an eruption and a roar of clapping and cheering, and Mark and I and we never said a word, but we said everything by the look in our eyes. And we have a picture of that at the house, and it was amazing. So a week later, I got a phone call, and when I looked down, I think it was ABC, and I'm like, what? And when I answered, it was the producer for Nightly News, the evening, with David Muir, yes. And Luke was his.
How did I miss this?
It was, I told you, a shot heard around
I will be finding
the world. You will. You will.
Can you?
So they did a story on Luke's senior night.
Yeah.
The impact that Luke must have had on his teammates. Can you talk a little bit about that? And are those relationships still, some of those still alive?
When he goes into the high school.
He's a celebrity.
I mean, anywhere we go, restaurant,
You're Luke's
but I
parents.
had him at
so cool.
in Liberty, near Liberty's Cincinnati Children's campus. We had gone to an appointment and we left. It was a few months later, and we went to First Watch for breakfast. Yeah. And as the waitress came back at the end of our meal, and she said, "Can I ask you a question?" She said, "The whole kitchen staff is back there, but we all think we've seen Luke.
Yeah.
We think we saw him on the news."
Yes.
And I'm like, "You did."
Yes, yes. What's powerful, and one of the things we've talked about is we want to have some of these young people on this podcast to tell a story. But one thing is we wrap this up because we could talk a long time.
We could go for a long time.
Yeah. Right. One of the things that Luke has been a part of that's been powerful is the Luke Kennard basketball camp. Yeah. And one special game, which is, amazing. And last year alone, he hits a bomb. A bomb in that game at Camp Chautauqua. And from almost half court. The place went nuts. The kids, 400 and 500 kids, are flooding the court at halftime. And Luke is caught in this sea of people. In fact, as we edit this, we may pop this up because you got to see it. It's incredible. But Luke reminds us again the importance of community. And we can't thank you enough, Jennifer, for what you and Mark have meant to our lives and what Luke has meant to our life, and hanging out with Jake. Jake as brother gets to watch powerfully, and that's another powerful story and just uniquely told. But Jennifer, we can't thank you enough for being a part of Triple Thread. Can't thank you enough for being a part of this community. It really is. It's a special community to be a part of. So thank you for your time. Joey, take us out.
Your story was amazing. I mean, from your faith to Luke to, it was so exciting. I think I saw Pastor over there getting a little emotional.
Yeah, absolutely.
I'm pretty sure this podcast is going to evoke some emotion from our listeners and the watchers as well.
Yeah.
Thank you all for listening. Thank you for watching. If this encouraged you in any way, share it, like it, and we just appreciate you. We'll see you next time on Triple Thread.
See ya.